Thank you so much for inviting me to be here and to be a part of this. This is such an awesome event. I'm so excited and honored to be a part of it and to be speaking to all of you today. I see so many awesome, brilliant, future bosses, change makers, innovators in the room today, and I'm just really thankful to have the opportunity to be able to share some of my experiences and some of my tips or ideas that I think have been really helpful to me on my journey as you go on your professional journeys. So the theme today of this whole event is make money moves. And I think what's really important to realize is that being able to successfully pursue your professional path and to make those money moves takes confidence. Now, this isn't going to be the only thing I'm talking on, but I think it's really important, especially when it comes to youth and teens, because when you're a teenager or a young adult, I mean, really nothing makes sense. You don't know who you are, you don't know who everybody else is, you can't figure out the world, and it's crazy. It's honestly kind of a mess at times. And just because I've had so much success at a young age, and I've started so many different initiatives, I have my own company, that doesn't mean that I knew what I was doing the whole time, or that I even knew who I was the whole time, and I still, get confused, I still get off the track, and I think it's really important to solidify that confidence, because being a young person in professional industries can be really daunting. It can be really overwhelming, and there are a lot of doubts and negative thoughts that can try to trip you up. You might feel like, oh, I'm not experienced enough, I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm doing. And while it's important to analyze what you need to continue to learn and what areas you may be lacking in as you're continuing to grow, because of course we're still young, we don't know everything, there are plenty of adults who don't know everything either. And that's something so important to keep in mind. So what I think is really key is to realize that the true meaning of confidence to me is being able to do things afraid. So your emotions do not equal your level of ability. If you are nervous, if you are fearful or confused or don't have all the answers and are unsure, and you still do it anyway, that's confidence. That's really being brave. Being confident doesn't mean, oh, I got everything together. I got everything in check, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and so now I'm going to go ahead and do it. Real confidence is knowing that you're doing the best that you can, you're prepared, and no matter what happens, you're putting your best foot forward. So I think one of my favorite examples, and this might be a shocker to y'all, and it's a shocker to me too. Somebody, you might have heard of him, Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther, you might have heard of that film. In an interview with him, I actually saw not too long ago, they were asking him about how was he feeling during the creation of Black Panther and directing the film, and he said that he was sure that nothing was going to work. He was scared every day, going on the set and directing all of these, major actors for this major film for Marvel Studios. He was nervous and scared, and he had no idea how it was going to work out. But he still did it anyway. And I think it worked out for him. So that's something really important to keep in mind when you're starting, that your emotions don't equal your level of ability. And confidence, too, really comes from knowing who you are and being comfortable with who you are and how you do things. That being said, I felt a lot of anxiety going into certain industries, because sometimes when you go into an industry, you feel like there's such a set amount of rules. For example, I started my own sustainable fashion brand in 2008, and a lot of way that a lot of industries, not only the fashion industry, works, sometimes you feel like you have to conform to what's popular or conform to what makes the most money. But what you have to keep in mind is that what's popular and what makes the most money was originally not the norm, and it wasn't originally popular. There are so many industries being re-innovated every day, and that's something that you can do. What makes for really great success when you start a company or whatever your professional path is, it's important to know that whatever your unique ideas or skills or plans are as you start, try to hold on to those. See if you can make those work if they work. See, how can I do something that's unique? What is it about my company or my service or what I do that makes me really stand out and makes everything a real game changer? So that's the confidence piece. The next piece is professionalism. Professionalism is incredibly important. I know you've probably been getting a lot of messages on that, especially being so young. And there's so many different keys and tiers to professionalism, especially in the world today. And there are so many ways to, step out of line and to step out of that professionalism. And one, for example, being social media. Now, I'm not going to give you a whole rundown of this is what to post and this is what not to post. I'm just saying, I think the last thing you want is for your professional career to go down in flames over a meme. Just be really conscious of what you put out there. If you're really serious about this, people will look you up, will find your social media, and I'm not talking about just normal, general memes that you just see anywhere. I'm talking about the ones that make people have to step down from their companies. Like, you know what I'm talking about. So I think what's important to know is that being young, of course, there are so many young people that are extremely capable and extremely professional in what they do, but we still have to prove ourselves. We still have to prove ourselves to anyone, especially adults, that we are professionals, that we're serious about what we're doing, and that we want to reach our goals. And that's something really important to keep in mind. Another part of professionalism is being able to discern what opportunities are most important to take. Sometimes there are opportunities that may come our way that aren't really for the best, they're not for our best interest. And for example, a lot of people believe that social media is the end-all be-all when it comes to building a brand, and that's really not the truth. It's really easy to think that. When you start a company or a brand or maybe you're freelance, whatever it is that you do, social media definitely is a great way to get out there and to market yourself or to market what you do. But again, it's not the end-all be-all, it's not the end of the world if you don't have a million followers. I personally know, I have mentors in my life that are CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies. And the one I'm talking about now, she doesn't even have over 50 followers anywhere. That's real tangible success. The world isn't completely revolving around social media. As much as it's a big part of our lives, and again, is a great marketing point, and it's important to utilize it, what you're doing is heavily involved with social media, it's still not the only way to get success. And you have to think about, how can I get in the room how can I find mentors? How can I get in the room with investors? How can I really achieve real tangible success? Maybe the social media can just kind of sit on the back burner for a minute if it's not really necessary. It's important to figure out if it's actually necessary. And on the point of knowing what opportunities or what paths are really important to pursue, don't chase after shiny things. social media followers being one of them. But don't chase after shiny things. It's really that simple. And I think that's something that is, a real issue for young people, especially because we kind of, don't exactly know what real success is until we've gotten there, we've seen it firsthand. And I think that shiny things being stuff that won't actually give you any success, it can just be for bragging rights or clout. You can appear on a TV show, your brand can appear on a TV show, but there's stuff in the fine print that doesn't actually align with your brand and your goals. But you go for it anyway just because, I'm going to be on TV. There's a lot of stuff you have to watch out for as you go on your professional journeys, especially as you continue to grow and opportunities do start coming your way. Really take a minute, analyze everything, read the fine print, and just don't play yourself. Think about if your mind and your gut align on a situation, then it's best to go for that situation. So just use your mind and discern if this is really best for my overall path and the goals that I want to reach. And another point on starting early, when you're starting early on your professional career, 2 things. Figure out your brand, and you don't have to have a company to have a brand. Figure out your brand and wear as many hats as possible. So in terms of figuring out your brand, it's really important to know really what your brand is. Let's say you're a freelance photographer. You might think, well, I don't really have a brand. It's not to have a company, it's not to sell products. You do have a brand. As a freelance photographer, your brand is, this is why I'm the best photographer that you should choose. This is why I take the best photos, and this is why I'm so unique compared to other photographers, and how I'll really be professional, get the job done. That's a brand. Branding is the message you're trying to send to those that want to work with you, clients, customers, whatever. It's really important to nail down no matter what you do. Because if you're going to be a professional in any area, you always have to be ready to, pitch yourself, sell yourself, and say, this is why I'm good. This is why you should work with me. This is why you should come to me. This is why you should buy my product. Whatever it is. So brands extend far beyond just companies or products. And then also, in terms of wearing a lot of hats, what I mean by that is, when I first started my company, Minds Ideas, I was 8 years old. I obviously did not have a game plan, a business plan, which y'all probably have because you have programs like this. But I didn't have any sort of plan in mind when I started my company. But I did know that I wanted to be as hands-on as possible since it was so early. I think a mistake that a lot of people end up making is bringing on too many people too quick. Especially, if you're hiring the person, sometimes you don't have to bring on so many people. When I started on a website called Etsy. You may be familiar with Etsy. There's so many different types of e-commerce websites now that you could sell your items online. So that's where I started, but I wanted my own website, like my own professional website. And really quick, I just want to give props to the youth that came up here that were talking about how they worked on the website and everything and how they built it in WordPress. Because when I was 10, I decided, okay, I want my own website. So I literally just Googled how to build a website from scratch. Because I didn't want to pay for, I didn't have the means to pay for, a fancy website builder or e-commerce website or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just try to make it from scratch. So then I started learning HTML, and HTML is just a type of markup language you can use the computer to build your websites, etc., etc. And so I was my own, coder and web designer. I made my own logos. I took my own photos for the website, for the shop. I did everything. pretty much. I really did everything. And I think that's really important to know and to utilize all of your skills when you're starting whatever it is that you're doing. Let's go back to the freelance photographer. Let's say you want to create a logo and you have experience in graphic design. Okay, well, if you have experience in graphic design, don't go pay a graphic designer to create the logo. Go ahead and try to make it yourself. You know, even if you have to update that later, it's really good to start with that, because then you have a logo in place. People know, okay, this person is professional. They have a whole kind of brand going on. And then the next thing I want to talk about is when you are starting and building your companies or whatever it is that you're doing, I think it's important to think about what is an aspect that I can use to somehow make a difference or to give back in some sort of way. Social entrepreneurship is really powerful. It's really impactful, and making your money matter is really important. You know, because when we make money moves, you have to think about long term. Am I making my money matter? And everyone in this room, I know, has something that they care about, some sort of issue or cause that is important to them or that concerns them, or that, you know, they really think, when you see that on the news or you see that online on social media, and you're like, man, I wish that I could do something about that. And the thing is that you can, and you can utilize this opportunity that you have now to do so. There are a lot of ways to make a difference, and you don't have to change the whole world. You can just change your community. It could be your school. I mean, it could be your church. You have to think about what is, you know, close to home for me that really is important, that I want to make a difference in. So if you're starting a company, like my company, Maya's Ideas, I make eco-friendly fashion. And what that means is that it's made with, my designs are made with materials that are not as harmful to the environment, and plus I give profits to environmental and women and girls organizations. And so that's the way that I give back through my business. And then I'm also an animator and a filmmaker, and a lot of the films and the series that I create surround really important topics like Black history, women's history, environmental issues, and that's one way I can create awareness, you know, through art. So really be unique, whether it's giving back profits or partnering with a nonprofit or just creating and spreading awareness and making that a priority. There are ways to make a difference and to make a change. And I think as young people, we worry that we're too inexperienced or unqualified. Somebody else can fix it for us. You know, somebody who has more experience or maybe has more money or more power. But it really takes everyone to make a difference and to, you know, be that drop in the bucket, because it will send out ripples and really make a big impact. Something else really important, I think, is, I don't know if you guys have been, if you're, you know, already friends, if you've been making friends here, but one of the life or death keys to any professional career, really, is making connections and networking. And I think it's so important that while you are all today in a room filled with like-minded individuals that are around your age, which is all very rare to find, and you're all on similar paths, to connect with each other, to, you know, want to support each other, work together, you know, collaborate together somehow. You know, start group chats. Here's my entrepreneurial group chat that I'm going to start, you know, so you can all stay in touch and, you know, work together in the future. Because I think what is so key is that there's so much out there in the world that's trying to keep us down. So I think it's important for all of us to connect and to take this awesome opportunity and lift each other up and work together especially being young and doing something that is really unique and that a lot of people won't always get or understand. I think it's important to make those connections and to utilize them and see how you can work together. Something else I want to touch on as I'm wrapping up is it's important to change your relationship with mistakes. I think that we're really scared of messing up, making mistakes, going off the wrong track or doing something stupid or taking a risk that doesn't work. And mistakes are actually really awesome and really, really important and vital to your growth as a professional. And mistakes will teach you about what you should do next time and how you can do it better. The key is not to, when you make a mistake and you kind of fall into the pit of the mistake, you just lay there and just let it happen. Like, oh, I've messed up, I ruined everything, this isn't how I wanted it to go, this isn't going right. What's important is to shake it off, get up, and keep moving as quick as possible. And think, okay, what did I learn from this? And what information can I utilize for the future? Because there is so much knowledge that you gain from experiences, good and bad, that a lot of people, a lot of the most powerful people in the world don't even know. And so I think it's important, like I said, especially, we have that fear being young and making mistakes when it comes to our professional lives. Go ahead and make those mistakes and take those risks. That's really important. And I think I want to probably wrap up today by doing a sort of affirmation of sorts. And because I really believe, and I've really seen in my life, that what you think and what you say will bring you closer to your goals and to your reality. And I know, especially being young, we kind of easily fall into the pit of being cynical and hard on ourselves, and that's not uncommon for any of us, I'm sure. But it's really important to try to change that and move into a more positive direction, because it will really bring you closer to your goals and what you want to make your reality. So if you guys don't mind, I'd just like you all to repeat after me. I am strong enough. I am smart enough. I am capable enough. I am talented enough. I deserve success. I will reach my goals. I can change the world. I am on the right path. I am awesome. I got this.